Hello, John.
Just a little bit for now, though. I want to change tack ever so slightly and talk about what's going on COVID-19 and vaccine-wise.
The Cape's Big Wake Up, 6 to 9 a.m.
All right, we're live on the radio, also live at the moment on Facebook with the Premier of the Western Cape, Alan Winde, as the Western Cape, Cape Town in particular, the epicenter at the moment of the latest batch of COVID-19 numbers. We're about to hit our peak in the Western Cape, and as the numbers are, well, I suppose, starting to decline, they still a cause for concern, which is why I thought I'd reach out to the Premier just to try and understand where we're at and what's going on. Very good morning to you, sir. Thanks so much for your time this morning on our breakfast.
Good morning, Aidan. Great to be with you, especially on this format where we kind of linked in visually as well as on air. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, there we go. The people get to see us now, over and above just hearing us. So where are we numbers wise? Things are starting to decline, but there still are areas of concern, and the numbers are still worryingly high, though.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say that when you say the numbers are declining, I want to say they're plateauing.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that we do, people take sometimes things that you say very seriously, and I always have said in the past that we don't have a peak in the Western Cape. We flatten the curve and we turn that peak into a Table Mountain shape, and we take that literally. So that's what's been happening over the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Is the top of that curve has sort of plateaued, created this flat top to the normal volcano shape that a COVID-19 wave looks like. And I think coupled with the relaxation of the lockdown level, it also helped prolong that flattening of the curve. So, yeah, I mean, we said 2 weeks ago that we were at our peak, and we're still saying the same thing. So that's why I think it's a plateau. 38,984 with the infections at the moment, the live infections or positive at the moment. Of course, the real number that I watch, which doesn't discount any person without any symptoms or someone that hasn't been tested, and that's the number of people in our hospitals. And that always follows behind the infections and deaths following those. Those are the given numbers, and it's 3,631 in our hospitals at the moment. And that is, that's a real number. It changes by the day, and we spent for the last 2.5 weeks, we were below 3,000, and now we're hovering sort of between 3,500. We've never gone to 4,000, but we're hovering between 3,500 and 4. And I think that's also flatlining. So it says that we're at the top, but to get it to go down, we've still got to make sure that we're all playing our part. And that's the important thing of getting that balance right.
All right. Are we seeing the numbers stack up against the rollout of the vaccine? Because it stands to reason the more people get vaccinated, the less of a peak we have when the numbers start climbing. So are we seeing a vaccine adjusted third wave? Are the numbers stacking up so that the modeling that had been forecast a while ago kind of makes sense for you right now?
So I want to say to you that that is still almost too early. As our numbers start picking up, we need to get to 5 million doses to get to herd immunity, and we're sitting at 1.2 million doses at the moment. And also when you get, and we're not all, I mean, of that, only 14% are sitting with full vaccination. So partial vaccination obviously gives you some protection, but it also gives you protection sort of a bit down the line. Your protection buildup is not immediate. So you still have to make sure you're protecting yourself. So I want to say the answer is definitely yes when you look at the frontline workers. Our healthcare workers are in the protected space. Our citizens are getting protected. That's why we still have to flatten the curve. It's a bit of both at the moment.
All right. I know you got a jab in Mitchell's Plain the other day. That's an area of grave concern. Very low registration numbers, and even fewer shots in arms. Any thoughts as to why that area? It's a massive concentration of people. Why there seems to be such a reluctance to have take up of this vaccine?
So, I mean, that's what we're working on all the time. We've got people in there door to door. That's why Mitchell's Plain was my choice. So people could see that I'm there as well. I'm showing that it's actually quite simple and easy. It's definitely painless. I never felt the needle at all. I'm also picking up that a lot of people are saying, well, I'm going to wait until my daughter goes and then I'll go with my daughter. And so there's a bit of that. And we're just still working on it, messaging into Mitchell's Plain, door to door, really working on Mitchell's Plain. Working on those areas, also in rural parts of our province where the numbers are low. That's where you'll see Norma French and Bombo, the ABC's out there. She's got mobile bus units. We launched a mobile unit in Khayelitsha the other day. So we're moving these units to the hotspots, or should I say the low registration and low vaccine spots. We've just got to keep working at it. And that's also where I think the campaign's got to change. That pressure must start coming from the citizens. Of course, it's easy to say that when there's insufficient vaccines in the system, but I'm really happy that it looks like those numbers are going to pick up now. So now when people are pushing from the bottom, I don't have to say, well, I'm sorry, that unit's only open 2 days a week.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can be open 6 days a week, and we can really start to get those jabs in arms.
And talk to me about business in the province. In your former life, you were the MEC for Economic Opportunities. Businesses have, you don't need me to explain to what extent they've taken a hammering, a massive body blow. Just entire sectors have been forced to their knees. From your government's point of view, what level of support for them, and what are the prospects going forward?
So the problem is that this is such a prolonged virus, and people in the beginning thought, okay, well, let's get through it, and by the end of the year and season we'll be fine. And then we were into our second wave, and we didn't even have a season. So the tourism industry, really, I think, of all of our sectors, and it's a leading sector in our province because it employs so many people, and that really has taken the brunt of this COVID-19 virus. Yesterday I was out in Mitchell's Plain. Yesterday I was out in Franschhoek, and you're walking around. This is Main Street. Franschhoek is tourism high street. This is top value, per square meter retail or restaurant space, and they're empty. There's empty. The restaurants that still have tables and chairs have got no people, and the other ones are not restaurants anymore. They're just open buildings with nobody in them. So it really is, it's distressing. And government can help to a certain extent. We put quite a lot of money into making sure that there was relief every time we were calling for more TERS support, etc. But also it's about how do we get innovation in place. And the big drive is vaccinations. How do we get our first town in the province to say, well, we're at herd immunity and we're ready for tourism, and then the next one, and then the next one, so that we can really start using a vaccination program. And that's why I say from the ground up that says, all right, we're done now. We're now ready for the numbers, and we can actually create this new environment. But it also means that entrepreneurs have also got to be innovating. And so I was with SnapScan yesterday, and how they are working with the restaurant industry there, coming up with a reward system and innovation in trying to draw clientele into the region. But then, of course, I was with a really amazing restaurateur and chef, Ruben Riffel. And he just opened and designed a brand new business, which is kind of 50-50 sit in, 50-50 take out. So he's innovating in his restaurant business, feeling the times and saying, well, if I don't change this, I'm actually going to battle. So if I got to keep my staff employed, I need to actually think differently. And that was really exciting to see as well.
All right, I'm going to park it there for this morning. Once in a while, we check in with the Premier of the province. Thank you very much for your time, sir. You have yourself a top-class day, all right?
Thank you, and you too. Cheers.
There we go. All right, live on the radio.